Channel, Pamela Cribb. Dear friends, I am Jeshua. I have been a carrier of the Christ energy on earth. I came to bring the desire for an enhanced consciousness on earth, and you were among those who received this impulse in order to take it on and to spread it further. You belong to a group of souls who have been pioneers in many lives, forerunners of a heart-centered consciousness. You have held a light in your soul that you wanted to express, to embody in flesh and blood, and to manifest in a material reality. Feel for a moment how deeply you are inwardly connected with me and with what I came to bring forth on earth. This consciousness to which I wanted to bear witness is much greater than I am, and greater than the single human being I was. It was, and is, a vast field of energy. Whether you lived during my time, that of Jesus, or if you lived in the centuries surrounding my birth, it happened in those times that a new impulse was given to the earth and you were part of that happening. In one way or another, you have experienced, in a human body, the power and the joy that the Christ energy carries within itself. Do you remember that energy? It is an energy of hope, and it also stimulates a certain excitement within you when you feel that energy flow in your heart. It is the hope of a different and better reality that is more attuned with human nature and with the nature of all things. A reality in which there is a more balanced and joyful way of life for everyone. Where everyone can come into their own, and where everything can be more of what it innately is, a natural, harmonious way of being that does not require much effort. This is the energy that you came to bring, and have done so in many lives. As I said previously, you were often pioneers. You broke with the existing standards, values, and ideals because you wanted to point the way to another possibility. How is it that you are touched by that promise of a new earth? Somewhere on your path as a soul through the cosmos, you came to a point at which you discovered much about life and yourself, and about the elements of light and the elements of darkness, power, dependency, manipulation, deception. You have known those elements from within, and there came a time in your evolution as a soul that you wanted to let go of negative energy. There was a longing in you, a desire for a more gentle, loving reality, both within and without. You were ready to receive the impulse of the Christ energy, because the essence of the Christ energy is that a person recognize the one in the other, the equality of the other, knowing that what you are connecting within the other is God itself, that spark of light, of energy, that burns in all living beings. The Christ energy makes you aware that this is the truth at the center of all life. You know that through connectedness to the other, at the level of unity, is it truly possible to live from joy and creativity. As long as there are conflicts between you and the other, and a hierarchy of authority and power structures, that unity is not valued and there is then inequality. The Christ energy was therefore an attack on existing institutions and blocks of power and authority. You can imagine how that wave of energy eroded the roots of long-standing structures, ideals, standards, and values based on fear and an ambition for power. The force of the Christ energy was a direct threat to those who held fast to power, manipulation, and deceit, and often not by choice, but from a feeling of impotence. That without such a power structure based on the ego, they would be nothing or nobody. You have been inspired by the light of the Christ energy in previous lives, as well as in your present life, and you have had to deal with the resistance you encounter. Maybe as a young child, you already felt a spark of inspiration within you. You were touched by an energy of inspired consciousness and change, and you could feel how that collided with the world around you, whose energy was still stuck in the old power structures of fear. That can be a hard blow to experience for a sensitive and vulnerable child. When your energy, your consciousness, is not accepted by the outside world, when it is not understood and recognized, then there is pain in your being and you live with the hurt that you feel. Yet there is still that indelible desire to contribute to the birth of a new consciousness on earth, and this desire inspires you. It is the desire of your soul to be here, right now, and to help give form to this consciousness. Honor and value that desire within yourself. You have kept that inspiration alive despite opposition and regardless of the resistance you have experienced. There is a love and a passion within your soul that wants to be heard, and you cannot resist that flow, for if you did, you would suffocate completely. That inspired side of you is still there. However, there is also another side that feels extremely vulnerable, which causes you to even feel ashamed of that part of yourself that is different and yearns for something new, that is willing to break with existing standards and ideals. And because that hesitant side of you is still there, you now experience great restraint in truly expressing yourself on earth with your heart and soul, for example, as a spiritual therapist, or as an artist, or whatever you do as your way to express your soul here on earth. That holding back is there in all of you. There is a fear: can I truly be myself and let myself be seen? For a moment, feel the force of the Christ impulse in your soul, in your own life. Dare to completely align with it. Try not to respond from modesty, from making yourself small. I don't know if I can do that. Allow the Christ force to come forth, because it touches you deeply, or else you would not be here. Feel what is at the core of this force. It is a powerful energy, which indeed affects existing structures and can be confrontational and throw things into confusion. But also feel the power of love in that energy. There has never been a destructive intent in that energy. It is a stream of clarity, of truth, of wanting to know and to go to the essence of the relationships between people, and between you and the world. You want to serve that energy of truth, you want to flow with it because it makes you happy to do so. Feel what is at the core of that energy. I ask you to do that because if you want to be, and to live from, that energy, then it may be that you have to break with the usual way things are done, and that you sometimes will be confrontational toward your surroundings, and that possibility makes you afraid. You have learned from the past to make yourself small, and sometimes you think, I should not stand out, I should not make myself too special, I should not exert too much influence. It may seem to be an act of the ego when you try to bring out what is great in you. But to open yourself to the Christ energy is not an act of the ego, even though it means that you do break with many things when you very deliberately take your own path. And in many ways, you also stand alone. But know that doing so is the right thing for you to do. And this takes me to the next point I want to bring to your attention, that this aloneness is a part of you. It is born from the fact that you bring something new into the world because you are a pioneer and you are different. Embrace that aloneness, that loneliness, which is part of you.